Preparing for live stream.
I think we're live.
And we are live. What up? What up? What is
What's
going on,
up?
everybody? Happy Hump Date Meets. It is Wednesday today, and yeah, it's where two dudes gather, shoot the shits, talk about our feelings and shit that we learned and all that.
Right on. How you? Man, I'm just out of it right now.
I know, same, same. You were out of it. I anytime now, by the way, anytime now,
Yeah, I think
my
so.
son
Yeah.
might be popping out. So, yeah, and this might be the last one before I officially become a father
Oh man.
of a live son out and about, or maybe one more. We don't know, but
One more.
wait, no, like one more week,
Oh, I was
potentially.
like, dang, you guys
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah.
talking about another one?
Oh yeah, we talked about it already,
It's
but not
running
like
fast.
not right away, man. You want to wait for like a year or two, you know, before you before you
Wouldn't you
try.
wouldn't you just want to get them both out of the way at the same time though?
You mean like,
If you wanted to, right?
oh
So
yeah,
like the sleep is still screwed up for like for the same time versus, you finally get the kids sleeping at a good pattern at around like
yeah,
3, 4 years old, and then you got to do it all over again versus, you know,
1 or 2 years, or like the same,
or if they're
1 year.
born relatively close to each other, they'll
Yeah,
have closer sleep schedules. And
I mean, yes and no though, right? Because I think I mean, yeah, well, in the ideal world, it would have been a twin, like the twins. Then would have been like the ideal
right.
world where you get both at the same time, but. Um, No, I think you want some time to recharge as an adult too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need time to recharge. I mean, it's a lot for the ladies' bodies and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
yeah. So that's the main thing. Like you need to make sure we need to make sure that yeah, their bodies heal and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, man. All right. So what do we want to talk about today? Should we talk about fatherhood, bro?
I mean,
Not that
I
you're
don't,
in the
I'm not
same
going to be
realm.
anywhere in the
Yeah.
realm of being able to talk about that with any proficiency.
Yeah. Oh, well, not from your personal perspective as becoming a
Mm,
father, but
right.
what was your relationship like with a father? How was that? How was that for a deep dive?
Just we talk very practically. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's like when things need to get done, that's when conversations happen.
What do you, so okay, so like you were like, what do you mean by that? That's like the most. That's like the same. What do you do for work? I'm a consultant. It's
Well, I
like,
mean, yeah, I mean, just besides, I mean, if things need to happen, like if we need to plan something or we need to get just shit done, that's when conversations happen versus, I guess, no, the typical Asian relationship is just very practical conversation,
mhm.
not anything like small talk or anything.
So like you talk to your dad when you need something, or your dad talk to you when he needs something from you? Is that?
Yeah, both, or when we need to work together to do something.
Okay, like some sort of like project, you need to build
Yeah,
something or whatever.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, okay. And did you like do you consider yourself closer to your dad or your mom?
I guess both. I mean, I don't know. I know people usually have one side or another, but
Yeah.
uh if I had to think about it, both. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no,
equally.
yeah, there's no
Yeah.
favorites there.
Um, what um what are some things that you learn from your dad? Like to let's just say one thing, right? Like one of your favorite things from memorable or whatever that you want to pass it on, right? At the future, let's say you have your kid, right? And what is one thing that you don't want to pass it on? And I'll repeat all these questions myself, obviously, but
Mm, I mean, my dad was the first generation, the first generation immigrant here.
hmm
Um, so he really had that.
Korean Chinese
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He really had that.
from from China, right?
Yeah. Yes, a Chinese from China.
Man, there's Chinese everywhere, man.
No, just being facetious.
Yeah,
Um, but so he really had that hustle mindset.
yeah.
Um, but also he is the, I guess, definition, like the textbook version of stoicism.
Mm. How do you mean by that?
Like just like very only speaks his mind when he thinks it's necessary. Doesn't really show too much emotion. You know, classic masculine. You
Pretty
know,
similar to it. Pretty similar to his son, bro.
I mean, that's where I probably picked up a lot of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the good and the bad. So I think if I'm going to pass on to my kid is if it's a son, just learn how to control your emotions, but it's so just, but also it's okay to show a little more.
Mm. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's interesting how much like we reflect our parents, you know?
Hmm.
And especially as like I mean for me, right? Especially as like fatherhood coming up and potentially, right? I just feel like there's just so much I'm like, oh, now I can see why they,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
yeah.
You know, it's funny because when we were kids, we're like, oh man, I never want to be like my dad when I grow up. And then,
Yeah.
and then like in your 30s and shit, you start doing things that your dad used to do, like, and then it hits you like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like I'm doing things that my dad used to do.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, for us, right, as a kid, we're like, there's like a list of things that I feel like we're gonna like as we go through, we're gonna be like, oh, now I see why, that they did certain things, whatever.
Mm.
Um, but that's interesting. So I guess for me, my dad, like I'm close to both of them differently, you know.
Yeah, I
I
think
clo
yeah, that's what, of course, differently.
Yeah. Same. Like I'm connected to my mom differently than how I connect to my dad. In terms of things I want to pass on and don't want to pass on for my dad specifically, pass on for sure. Like he is a man that enjoys like truly knows how to like enjoy life and being present because he's like very old school, you know what I mean? Like so he's not like contaminated by all like the technology and all that stuff, right? So like he can find joy in like everything, like
Mm.
he could find a random tree just walking by and then he would just talk about it for like 15 minutes,
Oh,
just
jeez.
talk about like, you know what I mean? Like so he's very like that and my artiness definitely come from that. Um and like the creative aspect of me for sure. But things to not pass on, which we talk a lot about, is sort of like this masculine, you know, masculine for my dad would be sort of the lack of like masculine frame in a relationship, right? Like my dad, for lack of better terms, kind of like a pushover, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
yeah, okay.
because of his upbringing and
Well,
you know what I
would
mean?
you, I don't know, it seems like a lot of first generation Asian
Yeah.
marriages is more of a matriarchy.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's
So,
interesting that yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
So go ahead, continue.
Because I notice a lot of times, like the the like the mom or the woman
Hmm.
of the relationship would be able to have the final say in a lot of things, especially when it comes in regards of like how to take care of like kids or the household or expenses.
Or just everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It is true, and I wonder why it's so funny. And then meanwhile, we have this somehow the non-Asian dudes have this fantasy of Asian women are submissive. Like it's. I always say that. I'm like anybody who think Asian women are submissive are just fucking dude.
I mean,
I joke about it
it
too.
depends on, I guess I should say, more specifically Chinese, Korean because I do notice in Japanese culture
Mm.
it might
There
be
might
more
be,
that way.
yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
Japanese might be a little bit more,
Mm.
but in general, like I go whenever I see a white dude with an Asian girl, I'm like, thank you for your service, like thank you for saving us from
I
enslavement.
mean,
Uh,
it's definitely not like it's just it's not fair to like make a generalization. Oh,
yeah,
Asian
yeah, of
girls are
course.
this way because there's Korean, Chinese,
Yeah, yeah,
Japanese,
yeah,
Thai,
of course. But in general, what I mean? Like, well, because to them, to the non-Asian people, a lot of them somehow have
like yeah,
this,
yeah, it's
right?
like you're just
That's what I mean.
Asian. It's like
Yeah, but
there's
but
like
but like
that's
they
just
have
one
a
color.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
and they
color
have
is Asian.
whatever you call it, misconception or
Hmm.
fetishization of right Asian women.
Hmm.
But yeah, within different culture groups are different. But back to our parents, though, yeah, 100%, right? Like, it's the matriarchy in a sense of like, right, like the women typically have the final say on everything, you know.
Like day-to-day things, I want to say. And usually like bigger things, like maybe, buying a house or investing in stocks. That's where I've noticed the men kind of take
Not
charge
from
there.
not from my family. Yeah,
Really?
it's all my mom. Everything. My mom. My
Hmm.
dad was just working, making money, and then handing money to my mom. And he had
Okay,
no.
okay.
Well, that's the thing I was talking about, right? Like in terms of what I don't want to pass on is he just lost a sense of his own frame, And we talk
Okay.
a lot about this, right? Like not like I respect and I love my wife, right? But the moment or the day that there's a sense of like disrespect coming from her, um and you could you just know it from the gut, right? Like I know when things are just not gonna, I mean,
Hmm.
I don't expect that to happen, right? And I tell all the time, right? Like if and both of us coming from family that are similar dynamic when it comes to parents, because um yeah, like the way my dad has always been. And I told him too. He was always like, "Well, he had no say, right?" It's like a classic. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, right? Like when Asian kids saying like, "Oh, I had to become a doctor or engineer because my parents told me." I'm like, "Well, your parents tell you to eat shit, you're gonna eat shit, You were just too afraid to freaking jump and make the risk, take the risk, you know what I mean?" And same thing for my dad. I was like, "Dude, like you just had to push back." And this is where we talked a lot about, right? Like sometimes, and we can have the ladies chime in here, but sometimes like a woman might want you to have that frame. You know what I mean? Like they're like doing the test and they want you to
Right,
see how
right.
you how you hold your frame and stuff. But anyway, so my dad is, the pushover type, unfortunately. And I love him to death, but that's definitely something that I don't want to, I've
Right.
learned to I've learned to be like no is no when I say no, you know what I mean? Like we can disagree, whatever.
Yeah,
But
exactly. We could disagree, but
yeah.
we have to be, respect one another and be cautious
Yeah,
of
yeah,
what.
yeah. I'm not gonna be like whatever my wife says is always. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Hmm.
like it's not gonna be like your money is your money, my money is your money. You know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
just money, but you know what I mean? Like doing things right. Um, Not just gonna be like, yeah, fuck my feelings. Fuck my wants
Yeah,
and
yeah,
needs.
yeah, yeah.
Which
Mhm.
unfortunately, I think we're our parents' generation. A lot of them are just like, yeah, man, literally does not matter what they want, what they need doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
just whatever the
Mhm.
woman says. Which is funny. Which is funny because people have the somehow they think Asian men, traditional Asian men, are like very, patriarchy, but
Mhm.
maybe that's way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, there's got to be a historical reason though. Probably the war, some shit happened during the wars, the two wars that like changed the family dynamic. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because
Maybe I'm
before,
not
if you think
sure.
about it, yeah, before that, it was definitely way more patriarchy for sure. I think two wars really just changed the
Well,
dynamic of it.
I can say for certainty that it changed the dynamic in America.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was like one of the first waves of, civil rights for women,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
women's rights.
yeah. And hey, speaking of war in America, How
I've lost count. Which one is this now?
I
Three,
don't know.
four?
I don't even fucking know, man. I want. I'm so curious about Loud because I think there's trying to do a mandatory draft or whatever, right?
Up.
I
You
think
tell
if you're
me.
between
Did you hear
18
that?
to yeah, I think they're trying to pass something like between 18 to 23 or something like that where you're gonna be mandatorily auto draft into, you know what I mean? Unless
Unless, yeah.
you
Mhm.
lost a leg or some shit, you know what I mean?
Unless you have bone spurs,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Unless you have
yeah,
bone
yeah,
spurs.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, apparently they're trying to do that. Starting at the end of this year, I think. So that's gonna be
Okay.
interesting. And well, the funny thing is, only the boys. I think. I
Well,
think
it's
they're
always been
only
that way.
draft. Yeah, but come on, it's 2026. Let's get the ladies up in there, man. Let's get the ladies in there too. Uh,
I mean, well, I'm gonna go back to this. It's just men are more suited to war. It's just,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, maybe not. There might be. Um, I wonder.
like on average, they have the bigger frame, they have more
Yeah,
strength, right? And I know they say guns are the great equalizer, but still,
yeah.
you still need more stamina and more longevity. And
But what if it's there's a lot of drones and a lot of
well,
like
yeah, the
right.
next wars are going to be more technology driven, but you still need boots on the ground.
Yeah, still need boots on the ground. So I wonder. I mean, there's plenty of like great men and women out there who are fighting for our country, even when they disagree with it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which I think that's like a very noble thing for sure. Like, can you imagine like just out there and just like you don't even think you need to, I mean, to
Yeah.
me, that's very
Hmm.
noble, You're literally risking your life. So I guess shout out to the men and women out there. Thank you all. So we can have a more peaceful life here and living to our best, I guess. Um, yeah, so that's crazy. When it comes to what's going on, war and stuff. Did you have siblings? I forgot. You have siblings?
No.
Only child?
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you consider do you think you are mm, like do you have the only child syndromes?
Being like what? Just,
Being the only child, like do you feel how like there are people who talk about like only child syndromes sometimes?
I mean, what are some of the things? I guess we just go by one, but
Yeah. So typically only child syndromes, they are like, I mean, I don't want to misspoke. Um, Typically suggesting with us siblings uh are selfish, lonely, and maladjusted.
maladjusted.
I don't
I
even know what
think
that means. Oh,
just not,
difficulty sharing. That's the interesting one.
I don't think, I think maybe on the spectrum of selfish, I'm a little bit like more like above average, but I don't feel lonely that often, and I definitely don't feel maladjusted to, social
Hmm.
groups.
Hmm. Interesting. Is that what it means? Like you have trouble.
Yeah, trouble like fitting in.
Yeah, interesting. Um, because I had a sibling, so I don't know what it feels like. Like I mean there's like the classic like only child. If you don't take care of your only child like with mm, with a strong intent. Okay, if you overly spoil your only child, right? A lot of it becomes like prince and princesses,
Hmm.
you know? And obviously I know you're not one, but like did you ever feel at one point that it's like, did you ever feel like you're missing out from having a sibling at all? Or are you like really happy that you're the only child?
I don't think I really cared. I
Mm,
think, I mean, if I want to hang out with people, just make friends.
mm. Yeah, I've always been curious actually. Uh, yeah, for us, we're gonna try to have two, adopt if we can, but Yeah. Only that's so funny. Only child syndrome. Yeah. Um, the reason I brought that up is also like recently I know somebody who's been talking about that too. They're like they noticed that their child is getting like a little out of control, too spoiled, you know?
I mean,
But
that's
it's like that's on the parents, in my
yeah.
opinion.
I mean, I've seen. I mean, just this weekend I saw brother and sister, and they're both kind of unruly. So,
Yeah.
so
Or actually even sometimes people say the younger one is, becoming right or the youngest, right? Become like the most like spoiled one, right?
Mhm.
And just because you're spoiled doesn't mean you become a bad person, but there is a higher expectation of things from other
Right.
people sometimes,
Hmm.
you know? Um, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
see.
pulling up video, yeah. Or you lead away, my man.
Um, I listened to some interesting things because I was in Vegas this weekend.
Hmm.
I just got back today actually, which is why
Oh
we had to
shit.
start late.
Yeah.
And you ever heard of the he's part of I guess he's considered part of the Manosphere. Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, of course. I didn't think he was a part of the Manosphere until later that like I've read it. I was like, oh, interesting. I never thought of him as.
Yeah, so I think as a spectrum of, you know, in the spectrum of the Manosphere, Andrew Tate being a 10.
Yeah.
And I don't know, let's say who's very liberal.
It's a men or
Yeah, like just a liberal being like super left-leaning being a zero. I found Jordan Peterson being maybe slightly above average, maybe
yeah, it's five,
like
six.
leaning towards yeah, like a 5-6 on
Yeah.
some things maybe a 7. But
Yeah.
anyway, his claim to fame, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was from a transgender video, I think,
Yeah,
in the beginning. Yeah.
and his whole to give people some context, his whole transgenderism is he didn't have a problem with people identifying
Yeah.
as male or female or
Yeah.
male, a woman or guy. He just didn't want them to enforce his language, as in his language and or belief, saying,
Yeah.
you can believe whatever you want, but that doesn't make me, it doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
obligate
Yeah.
me to believe that you are of
Yeah.
that sex, right?
Yeah.
And so that just, and he made a bigger thing out of it being free speech. It impedes on
Yeah.
his free speech, just as he's not impeding on your free speech. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, identify as a man or a woman. That's fine. But that does not make me have to also agree with you.
Yeah.
Um, and so he was very against any legislation against enforcing language like that.
Hmm.
And then I recently found out just through some podcasts or some like those YouTube documentaries.
Yeah.
He had um a university.
Oh yeah, yeah, like yeah, Jordan Peterson University, or
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called.
yes, I forget what exactly it was called, but it was Jordan Peter University.
Yeah,
And it was supposed to be like, oh, for $2,000 you could get accredited and it's going to be just as good as, if we went to USC or UCLA or
yeah, yeah,
any other regular traditional college that's going to cost you.